showed a lot of fight today. Really got the job done.
Absolutely, I'm really pleased with the performance. It's not easy to play 3 times in 7 days. We came here very late from Greece, and then we conceded an early goal as well, which mentally, asked you questions. But the team reacted straight away and they started to dominate the game and impose himself, create the chances, score the goals, and then just before half-time, again, a big disappointment, conceding the goal on another set piece. But again, we went back in the game, we started to play, we started to dominate the game again. But in the last 20 or 25 minutes, you could see that energy-wise, we dropped a lot. We had a lot of issues with some of the players on the pitch. We tried to make the changes to lift it up, but to be fair, Everton were better than us in the last 20 to 25 minutes and had some chances to score.
You suffered the loss of the Classy match. Two questions really. He started ahead of Saka. Unfortunately, Kolasinac's misfortune became a fortune for Saka because he got his 10th assist. That must have been a difficult decision for you to make initially, but you must have been so pleased with what eventually happened with Saka's introduction.
Well, I'm never happy when obviously something happens like that. With Kola, he's been very unlucky with the injuries. Bukayo had some issues as well before the game. Then he started to play after a few minutes. It was a great contribution offensively, and as well there are other moments where he showed today that there's still a lot of margin for him for improvement, and he needs to keep his feet on the ground, and we have to help him to do that.
Literally after a minute, your game plan, whatever you practice and train for today's match, it went out the window. That must have been such a difficult reaction to now subsequently regroup and try to get going again.
But this is part of the game, and this is a reaction I'm hoping from my team. Against disappointment, there are things that we can't control. Unexpected things going to happen. One day is this goal, one day is playing with 10 men, another day will be the referee. But we kept going, we kept trying. We started to do the things that we talked about, and we generated the chances and the type of game that we wanted.
Mikel, what can you say about Aubameyang and how important he is to you, to your team?
I'm so happy with him, obviously, because he's scoring very important goals from us. But as well as a captain, he's giving a great example to everybody else that a player of his caliber is able to work the way that he's working defensively, because the demands to that every 3 days are big, and he's willing and he's happily doing it, and I think it's paying regards to him.
What do you think when you read stories about him being wanted by every other big club in Europe?
That they are completely right to want him because he's a superb player. He completely deserves to be liked by other teams, but hopefully we can convince him that this is the right place for him and he has a future here.
I think performances like that and victories like that are going to help him to want to stay, to want to sign a new contract.
Hopefully, and not just the wins, but as well what we are trying to do, that he really enjoys on that pitch every time he goes, that he feels very much part of what we are trying to build here. And I think he's with that mindset at the moment.
I think you said to TV that before you took over here that you had questions about Oba. Could you just elaborate on that? What you had concerns about his attitude?
I had 2 questions. One, it was he doesn't want to do it, or he cannot do it physically, So once I found out that physically he could do it, it was just about convincing him that he needs to do it every 3 days. And he's showing that.
What do you mean about his mindset when you say his mindset? It means that you see...
I think it's been tough for him, and a player like him, it's been a lot of disappointment in the last few months or years because he has big expectations. He wants to play for the biggest club, the bigger tournament, and be up there with the best players in the world. And we have to try to support him and give him everything as a club that he really feels fulfilled here. That's the challenge that we have.
You talked about convincing him to do it every 3 days. How did you do that? Was that through one-to-one conversations where you gave your vision to him?
It's a combination of many things, but he needs to feel fulfilled. When he does that we show appreciation as well of what he's doing, because he could just say, I score the goals, I don't need to do it. But unfortunately, we are not that good that we can allow a few players not to do that.
You kept the team back in Athens overnight rather than come straight back. Is that something you've done in the past, or you know works in the past? Because if the results are win every time on the next game, it's a practice from European away games that
Yeah.
you'll adopt on, you'll keep?
Well, when we look at the options, if we would have traveled straight after the game, we were going to land here at 4:30 or 5 o'clock in the morning, which completely disrupts the preparation. First of all, the rest. Second one, the way they eat, because on the plane is not the same as the hotel. And then the way they rest in the plane for 2 or 3 hours, then go back home. And I don't really like it. I like all to stay together there, eat well, sleep well, travel together, start to talk about the next opponent, or review the game. That's what we did in Olympiacos. And then fresh minds, go home, and next day ready to start again.
Last one here.
Mikel, can I just ask you about Mesut Ozil? Now, in recent seasons, he was always criticised about the work rate, etc. We know that he's technically a very good player, but his work rate has seemed to improve quite a lot under years. In this game, he ran his socks off. You know, he was quite impressive.
Yes, I'm very pleased with him. Obviously, I play with him and I know him, so I try to pinch him as much as possible to do what he needs to do, because I know how much he can give is on the offensive side. But as well, Mesut is a good example to this game. When we are dominant, when the whole process is properly done and you find the play in the right position, is the type of game that he wants. When that game becomes like this, it's not his game, you know. So he needs his teammates, he needs the right structure and organization for him to flourish. So it's not just about him. Sometimes it's not his fault. It's about the team that is not supporting the what he needs.
Can I just ask you about Sead Kolasinac?